What's going on, y'all? It's Jason Reviews here, back at it again with another video. This time I'm bringing another flashback review. I know it's been a minute since I did another flashback review. For the most part, one of the reasons I kind of slowed up on it is even though I love the deep history dive, I see that some of my other videos on this channel and series do a little bit of better numbers while still covering history. So I thought maybe some of the individualistic, flashback reviews, we don't need as many of those. We all know some of the more historic battles. So I'm pivoting and doing some battles that are off of the big three, URL, RBE, KOTD, off the big leagues, and some top tier action that happened on other leagues and matters. And today we're doing Daylyt versus Young Ill. Can seem a little bit random, but actually it was on street status. Both of them were able to give good performances. Daylyt is kind of notorious for battling rare, and when he does battle, there's some antics involved. Young Ill, we know, has had his inconsistencies, so it was good to see them both on kind of the return, giving each other a good showing on a smaller league. And we're at a point in battle rap, post Gnome 12, there's a little bit of quietness till we wait for the biggest event. Not a lot of drops happening, not a lot of big news. So I thought it'd be a perfect time to shine some light on maybe some of these, diamonds in the rough, some of these gems that not everybody knows about. So without further ado, let's get right into my flashback review for Daylyt versus Young Ill. So to get right into it in the first round, by the way, if you hear any background noise by any chance, dishwasher's going off. I don't think this will interrupt the audio, but just, in case you hear anything you don't usually hear, that's what it is. But first round on Daylyt, he starts out with this, it's going to be hard for me, especially in bar-for-bar reviews, to quote Daylyt, not even necessarily just because some of the wordplay is just overly intricate, even though he is one of the trendsetters with a lot of wordplay, one of the most creative in terms of the pen battle rappers of all time. But he does a lot of just elongated scheming. Obviously, I'm not going to mention every little word and every little piece of wordplay that goes with the scheme. But in his first round versus Young Ill, it's by far his best round in the battle, and he shows a lot of immaculate writing. He has a flower scheme to start. I believe it was like a dandelion. Some of the first of those that we've heard, as well as a football scheme, which was very, very fire, to touchdown, field goal, incorporating all the parts. We know how Daylyt is. He's good at rapping a bunch of different phrases. By the time you hit the end of the scheme, he's hit you with about 8 to 10 different references on the one topic. As soon as I got the cue for Ill, I was in quill mode. That was fire. I try angles and Ill loom. An Illume, not he. So a little bit of a reach there, but an Illuminati flip. The triangles. We all know Day loves to triangles. We one of his favorite little pieces of wordplay, but definitely a fire concept. And then one of his best bars of the battle, his Deion Sanders. What you want, the 40 or the cow, boy?
Position lock while I'm Deion Sanders in his prime time. Deion Sanders, nigga, you ain't get what I meant was hot. That's an Altoid. If I take it off safety, the wide receive it. What you want, the 49 or the cowboy?
Definitely a haymaker. And then I couldn't hold back with a strong hug. I couldn't hold back with a strong hug. Definitely little witty, clever stuff in there, as well as he had an ape scheme. So a lot of scheming, a lot of good pen work. And Ill comes back with a great first of his own. A lot of struggle talk. This is definitely Ill's return. So people will call it fillery, but this is really what his style was when he first came in. So a lot of street and struggle talk, just real shit. URL backwards, you ain't ready for this L, are you? So little witty the way he flips that. And then he responds with his best bar of the battle, swish. That shot won't even touch the glass.
This shot won't even touch the glass.
So both fire haymakers from them in their first round. And as we get to the second half of the round, not that it's bad, but Ill definitely slows down a little bit. He's definitely started on fire, matching the energy. I hope you brought it back with you so I could break it down to quarters, halves, and zones. Talking about when Daylyt said he had a crack rock so big, Young Ill had to drag it home. So that was fire. Break it down to quarters, halves, and zones. And then he gets to roasting Daylight's mom, and then he just has a strange ending. You could either tell he lost place in his wording and his material a little bit, but if he was able to continue, with the material he's putting down the first, I think he had some really good momentum. But Day was pretty much perfect from beginning to end in terms of writing and cleanliness. And with the strange ending, even though I really liked the peaks of Young Ill's rounds, I had to give it to Day a rather clear 1-0, but a very good competitive round. And as we get into the top of the second round, I will say there's a little drop off from both, but it's a pretty good battle beginning to end. I think there's a little bit of downrighting. I think their first are both their best, but there is still some good bars here from both. It goes from it starts on Daylyt in the second, go from oh ill to oh ew, so a little bit of comedy there. He had an illustrate bar, illustrate. That was definitely fire. Lord knows I'm heaven sent, which I feel like that concept's been a little overused as we're talking right now, but at the time, that was definitely new. Lord knows is definitely, that's what's big about Daylyt is the witty double entendres that he glazes right over. And since he raps it so quick and thoroughly, that's what makes the playback so good, is that at the speed he's rapping, there's no way you're going to catch that, realistically on the first take. He is a caveman scheme. Talk about caveman, the hieroglyphics, time to rock. Just incredible the way that he's able to put it all together. Kind of like a triple that he breaks down level for level, and usually that doesn't work. But Daylyt is one of those few that can make something very, very, very complicated and somehow has the crowd control to break down these, sometimes these very, very layered schemes. And then towards the end, Day doesn't end his round exactly the best either. Has a little bit of a weirdish dry spot where it's a lot of witty lines back to back, but he's kind of stopping. They're not really haymakers, so there's no real need to stop. The people might have caught it, they might have not caught it, but either way, the bar's not worth the pause. So there definitely was a weird end to Day's second. And then it's on Young Ill, who has a Jesus scheme. First one to lay hands on this fruit, like Adam's wife, is what he finishes off with. So pretty fire, even though the religious schemes can get a little bit overdone. He definitely, ended it good there. The referee in belly shirt, you ain't got half the stripes. That bar is atrocious, but the way he delivered it was pretty comedic, so I thought it deserved a little mention. And then he even ends the round with, he gonna wish he never took me, like bad advice, which is a pretty good bar. But Ill definitely showed a little bit of rust in this round. This is where you get a little bit more of the fillery rap. Like I said, the street talk's always welcome. We always like some struggle talk, but sometimes there's a difference between that and rapping without really a point. Another thing funny about this battle is you can see Ill's hype men are kind of like really, really OD to the point that even Ill gets pissed off about it. So there's, even when this battle isn't at its best lyrically wise, in terms of this performance, there's some funny things. It's just a feel good thing overall. Either way, I had Daylyt 2-0 edge. So I did have Daylyt 2-0. I think the second is debatable though. But so going to the third, I had Daylyt winning, but still a great battle, and on to the third round. And now to start the third round, and something that makes this battle very unique is Daylyt does kind of, as an homage to Ill, give up the third. You don't really see this often in battle rap. I believe Math Hoffa did it versus Shoddy Horrors might be the battle that I'm thinking of, but almost as a sign of respect, which I believe is more, pretty commendable in a way. Obviously it's rarely done. You could debate, should you ever give up a round, but he starts with the Young Ill drug angle, talking about Young Ill in the late night calls, kind of a personal angle. Tour story, I'm just trying to get the buzz light. So there's definitely some cool bars in there, but then he even says, come and show us what you can do, Ill. And he completely just hands over the third, and Ill really does take advantage of that. And he has a lot of real talk to start off the round. But one thing that Ill shows that a lot of the OGs, a lot of the old rappers show, is an amazing pure rapping ability. I mean, the actual rapping, flow, and cadence part of battle rap. And he's able to have it with some onomatopoeia in there, some sound effects, but just catches an amazing 1 minute pocket where the momentum is really the fire material in itself. No definitive punches, no definitive bar that you can call back. Just great fluid rapping. What's this pussy do that I can't? Ovulate. So even some funny bars in there, but the whole round for Ill is really about flow patterns. And really about showcasing what separates him from the rest, which is a unique sound, a unique style of rapping. And it's one reason why a lot of people, look back at Young Ill still as one of their favorites, a real one-of-one type of battler and a special talent. So he obviously takes the third clearest. Day gave it up, which leaves the door open, for this to maybe be a debatable battle. Like I said about the second, obviously I had a light 2-0 going into the third, and the second is close. Now you can debate if it's close, but we should all know that Light should win. I don't really think think it's as open for just what's the word? Preference. I don't think there's as much preference open for that, just because I think of the way, it'll kind of by far his worst round of the battle. Just really light. Even one of the bars that I showed you as a highlight was kind of like a silly bar. So, like, even though I have Daylyt winning this battle 2-1, I think it's a very good battle. And, obviously, it didn't turn to much. It didn't, Ill didn't really stay around for battle rap after a couple more. And, Daylight's still with us, but he's doing a lot of in and out. A lot of, I'm going to be battle, I'm not going to battle. We know the Daylyt cycle, but a great battle from both. Shout out to Street Status for giving us a bunch of diamonds like this in the rough, a bunch of gems from some of our top rated guys, and commanding respect in the battle rap community. But Daylyt 2-1 in a dope battle. And that will be the end here for my flashback review of Daylyt versus Young Ill. Like I said, just try to pepper these in when I can on the channel. I know that they can seem a little bit random, but I like the deep little history dives, remembering maybe some of these bars that we've forgotten, some of this off-league work. But you guys let me know if there's any battles that you would like to see be done on the flashback review that aren't exactly just mainstay URL battles. I love just doing bar-for-bar reviews in general, and like I said, doing the deep history dives, teaching people some battles. Maybe someone watches this video and doesn't know that Young Ill versus Daylyt happened. Now you know, and you have some information on it in terms of detail. So, got some more content coming out this week, guys. Like I said, it's looking pretty quiet right now in terms of events they're announcing, so you're going to see more creative content, more history-based content. That's what we're going to use to fill in this time. We're always going to have, the important part of this channel, though, is that we're always going to talk some sort of battle rap. No drama, no random topics made up. We're always going to keep it to the battles and the battlers and spotlight their talent and abilities. So like, comment, subscribe, Twitter in the description. Get at me down below and follow me on there for more battle rap related content. I do some more lists and some more day-to-day stuff on my Twitter. And it's been Jason Reviews, y'all, and I'm going to catch you on the next one. Peace.